partly fueled by the fact that it was the one sport Mom never really took to. Luckily, they shared a love for a lot of non-competitive activities too. In their 40s and 50s, they got outdoorsy. They fell in love with the Adirondacks, and along with their good friends, the Franzes, the Calls, and Chavos, they took up hiking, and then backpacking, canoeing, kayaking. They even did the Northville Placid Trail and some of the Appalachian Trail. They got into travel a good deal later in life as well. In addition to the years they lived in Heidelberg, early in their marriage, they made trips to Paris, London, Montreal, Holland, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Australia, Bermuda, Banff, Alaska, and numerous road trips across the US. On one of those infamous cross-country trips out west, Mom revealed one of the traits she's perhaps most notorious for: frugality. Our Aunt Faith, Dad's sister, tells the story of Mom proudly finding in a casino in Las Vegas the one and only 1-cent slot machine in existence. She and Dad happily played it all day long. I don't want to say that Mom was cheap, but she sure liked to save $1 or a few pennies. For years, we tried to explain that it didn't make sense for her to spend money on gas, driving all over the county just to save 10 cents on a sale item here and another one there, but our arguments fell on deaf ears. The woman loved a bargain. When my college roommate provided Mom with a new hip name for the Salvation Army, La Salle, it gave Mom's passion a new lease on life. She fully embraced her love of thrift stores after that. She flat out refused to spend money on herself. Dad would try to spoil her, get her to indulge, but Mom would have none of it. Supreme Court judge's wife be damned. She wasn't going to let a title stand in the way of her saving money. And though Mom may have been economically prudent, shall we say, she was always generous when it came to her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. We didn't have a lot of luxuries growing up, but we never wanted for anything either. If she was a bit of a penny pincher, Mom was incredibly generous in other ways. She spent endless hours hitting tennis balls with me, with all of us. She did the same with each of her grandchildren. I'm afraid none of us inherited her athletic abilities or her love of the piano, but she kept trying. One of her greatest joys over the last few years was her great-grandchildren. She loved to sit down at her piano next to the great-grandkids when they were barely big enough to sit on the piano bench themselves and just watch them bang away. Even last year at this time, I remember being in the backyard and Mom getting down in the grass and rolling down the hill with the little ones. The two of them, they were like the Energizer bunnies, my parents. She taught me to sew, Charlie to play tennis and cook, sort of. Meg to embroider, Meg's daughter Nellie to cross-stitch. She found so many ways to be creative. A domestic goddess, Meg called her. Martha Stewart before Martha Stewart. Despite my dad's outrageously limited palate, Mom kept trying new and innovative dishes. Baked Alaska, fondue, though it's her Sally Butler busy day cake, which I will miss the most. She took up quilting, rug braiding, decoupage, flower arranging, wreath making, you name it. She created whole bedrooms from scratch, sewing curtains and bedspreads from patterns, refinishing and painting furniture. I had the most amazing homemade wardrobe all through elementary and junior high. Not that I appreciated it at the time. But what she couldn't bring herself to buy me, she would make by hand. That generosity extended beyond our house, too. Mom was a perpetual volunteer, substitute teacher, volunteer school librarian, a Cub, Boy, and Girl Scout leader. She tended Altamont's gardens for years as a member of the garden club. She helped the elderly through community caregivers and Albany Guardian Society. She was always looking out for neighbors, bringing meals to the sick and adopting seniors in need of attention. Aunt Faith recalls looking around many a Thanksgiving table to see some lone, almost forgotten extended family member who Mom had brought back into the fold. Ahead of her time and a throwback, all in one great lady, my sister said of Mom. A tomboy and a gracious housewife. A fierce competitor who knew when to let Dad be the man of the family. A spendthrift who gave so generously of her time and talent. A self-deprecator who championed her kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids, even as she made sure not to let any of us think too much of ourselves. She was a wonderfully complicated woman, and she would be appalled that I have been talking about her all this time. And you are kind to listen. And as difficult as it would be for her to hear, she deserves it. So thank you. And if you would indulge me, one last thing. It's an unusual request, but Mom's 95th birthday is today, and there is some great synchronicity in that. And she so loved to sing. She played Carmen years ago, and it was so sad for her these last few years when she started to lose her voice in addition to her memory and her hearing. But she would mouth the words of hymns. But she so loved to sing. I know she would be delighted if we would sing to her one last time, if you would join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday.